let's transition. So you've been an MC,
Mm-hmm.
you're a mom,
Mm-hmm.
and you faced one of the most tragic things that any parent, let alone a mother,
Yes.
and too many mothers, especially on the West Side, is faced.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
talk about that? Do you want to talk about
Yeah,
that?
we could talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, my son's name was Keith. Keith Griffin. He was known as Juice. He was an MC as well. You know, get it from his mama. And I don't even say he passed away. He was taken from us. He was murdered. Coming home December 29th of 2020.
Mhm.
He was on the 210 freeway coming home from a friend's house, and a truck actually like was driving real fast. Like they say that he was waiting or something, but came
Okay.
up on the side of him and just opened fire. So my son was hit, and you know, he passed from his injuries.
Was it random?
Well, they were saying that it was
Mhm.
random. It was a random thing, and then they saw, I guess, that the people were waiting at that house. But then, as it comes, I get a on my messenger,
Mhm.
I'm getting things that say it wasn't meant for him. It was an accident.
Wow.
It wasn't meant for him. It was
Mhm.
an accident of why of he passed away. Come to find out, it had nothing to do with him. He was
Wow.
just what is that?
Mistaken identity
Not mistaken identity, when you just hanging with the wrong, just
by association.
by association.
Okay.
And that's what it was. You know,
Yeah.
just by association, everybody was like, he's a cool kid. He wasn't a banger. He wasn't
Mhm.
into that. He was a dancer. He was a rapper.
Mhm.
And that's what happened. But to me, it's not cool to say, oh, it wasn't meant for him. It was an accident.
Right.
That ain't bringing my kid back.
Not at all.
It's a tragic, you know what I mean? That I
Right.
got to deal with this type of stuff. So
What's been the process for you to cope since
um,
he passed?
you know what? I was actually like just holding on to it on my own, and
Mhm.
and I felt like I didn't need to talk to anyone, or like therapy, or you
Mhm.
know, what they gonna tell me about mine? My son is gone, not yours.
Right.
You gonna tell me how to feel? So it was just a whole bunch of, I was angry, I was hurt, I don't sleep really now. I
Mhm.
really don't sleep. It's like my mind races, because I used to feel, if what if I would have called him and said, "Did you been drinking? Just stay there and go to sleep." Because he
Right.
was at a friend's house. His friend proposed to his girlfriend that night,
Mhm.
and they had game night.
Okay.
So that's why he was out. And he didn't feel well either. And I'm like, if I just would have said this, or if I would have said that. So when the way I was coping, I was blame gaming on myself. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And I was putting the blame, and I was not wanting to talk. And then I would go out and I would zip up in this happy face suit. And everybody that seen me would say, "You so strong.
Mhm.
You're so strong." Because I'll be like, "Hey, how are you? How are you? I'm fine."
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the way I was coping. I always feel I'm fine,
Mhm.
and I'm happy, and look at me, I'm smiling.
Right.
And to where I was really feeling like, you know, I was carrying this weight like a
Mhm.
raft. I was putting everything on this raft, and I was carrying it, and it was bringing me down, you know what I mean? And I was just feeling, I think I was doing that because I didn't want to. I feel like if I give it to God, I'm
Mhm.
letting Keith go.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing I've been dealing with, of when people say you got to let go
So
like that.
right. So when people say that, because you know the reality is, when it comes to grief,
Hmm.
there's not much, if anything, somebody can say, and then
Right.
we say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
how when it comes to, well, here's a question, and I don't want to turn this into a therapy session,
Right.
but when it comes to whatever moving on is supposed to look like,
Uh-huh.
or acceptance is supposed to look like, what has been that journey for you?
Well, accepting what's real,
Okay.
that's the thing that I was going through, accepting what's real. My accepting what's real is he's never going to walk through that door again.
Okay.
I can't call him. Like, we have things, and we talk every night. We all on me, my daughter, and him on FaceTime, and we're talking and laughing. They're talking about me, and we're laughing about, and me knowing that he's not never coming back. So that was a hard thing to accept. You know what I mean? I have to accept that because it's reality.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a hard reality now. And now it's, like when people say he would want you to move on, he would want you to be happy. He wouldn't want to see you like that. I mean, you don't know what he want. You know what I mean? And that's where the anger comes in. And like, you don't know what he want me to do. He ain't here to tell you that. But it is the point that, it comes that you do have to keep living, because I'm still here, and I have my daughter that's still here. I have his daughter that's still here. She's 8 years old. And she was 5, and her birthday was on Christmas, and he passed on the 29th of December, 4 days after.
Wow.
So, and I have a grandson now that when he passed December 29th, my grandson was born early on January 29th. So I felt like that was just a gift for me to have to comfort me. You know what I mean? That baby boy, like, and I'm real close to him, and my granddaughter too. But it's just hard. You're all over the place. You think of, this is my reality and this is how I'm dealing with it, and this is what I'm gonna do. But when nobody is watching, it's shattering. Like you just like this, just like, wow, like I can't believe this happened to me. And now you're seeing others that it's happening to, and then they want to talk to me. My mom wants to talk to you, and it's like, dang,
Are you okay with that?
I am okay, because I know what you're feeling now. I know how you feel.
Right.
So I could tell you, because some people, I don't like for a person to say, I understand.
I don't want to understand.
Yeah.
Like, meaning, I don't want to understand what it feels like to lose a child.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right.
I know, like, have you ever lost a child? Then you don't understand. I'm sure you can imagine, but you don't understand. So when they want to talk to me, they say that, I know you understand. I do understand. So now when you want to talk to me, if you want to scream, you want to holler, cuss, you want to just sit on the phone until we both fall asleep, I'm here for you.
One of the things, like I said, I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but when people come for grief counseling, I tell them, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to, like, you're having a human experience, and there's no textbook for this.
And it's hard though. It is, like, some people, you notice they don't cry, because it feels like I don't want to. You might be happy, and here I come being a Debbie Downer, but it's not like that though.
Right.
But here I come. This is what my mind is thinking. Here I come, like, oh, dang, I really miss him and then I'm like, damn, here I am now bringing everybody down when everybody was just happy. So then you tend to stay away from people instead of going out, and the people are really there for you. The truths that you have are really there for you. But in my mind, it's like, no, I don't want to go over there. They're happy. I'm just gonna stay right here.
Any survivor's guilt?
Yes, I did have survivor's guilt. And yes, that's what hurt me the most, because I'm like, it should have been me. I should have been the one. How did he go before me? I'm the mother. And maybe if I would have called him that night, he would have turned this way. Or maybe if I would have done that, and that was the survivor's guilt of blaming myself about all the things that happened. And in reality, dude could have just probably kicked in the door and did it there. You know what I mean? Or he could have died of COVID, cancer, anything. That was the number. But with me, it's survivor's guilt. And I do experience that still. That's why it's so hard when they say let go and let God. I feel like if I'm letting go, now I'm giving up. You know what I mean? Like, I can't let Keith go. I'm giving up on Keith. And, no, I'm just going to hold on to him. And I'm not going to let it go, and I was angry at everybody, God, everybody, because I was like, why would you do that? His friend got shot 5 times, that he was over to the house with his friend, got hit 5 times, and my son was there at his bedside at the hospital, there with him. My son get hit twice and he's gone, but the organs that it hit.
2 questions and I want to move on. What's your belief about death and the afterlife at this point?
I mean, with death, I guess with death is like that's it. You're gone. You're dead. That's death. No more. Afterlife, when they say I'll see you again, I do believe that. Okay. I do believe it, and I do believe that they come to you. You know what I mean? Because my son, I moved from this. I was living in an apartment, a townhome in Ontario for a long time, and then now I'm in a house, and then I got my parents with me. He's very close to me, my mama, and my dad. He's very close to my parents, and when he came to me, I looked and he was standing there, but he was far away, but his face was 3D. I couldn't touch him, but he was this close, like me and you, and he was smiling. Like, yeah, Mom, you got your place. You've been wanting to move into a house, like you did it, and then you got Grandma and Papa with you. You know what I mean? And everything has just been like that. So I do believe that, yeah, I will see you again, and I do believe that they come to you. And I do believe that when he first passed, I felt that freezing cold around me in my house, like where I was like, ooh, shoot, it's cold. What the heck? Like that, like freezing. And then it just warmed up. Wow. I promise you. I'm telling you. And his daughter, Trinity's 8 years old. And Trinity calls me and says, Grandma, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I seen my daddy. He came to me and he was limping and he was crying. And I don't know why he was limping. He hurt his leg. 2 years later, I found out where he was hit. The first hit him in the buttocks and it bounced off his pelvic and came out his stomach. So that's, you get hit there. That's exactly. Right. She didn't know that. We didn't know that. But when she saw him, he was limping. Wow. And this is from a 6-year-old child. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, yeah. I believe children see angels all the time.
Yeah.
Where do you find your peace at right
now? You know what? I find my peace of my businesses that I started. So I got the Succulent Vibes. Okay. Which we do the photo booth, the 360. And Succulent Vibes came from Keith. 6 months prior to his death, I was married in June. And Keith loved to dress. He loved to dress. He thought he was just a fashionista. He just was all that. And he always say he was succulent. Okay. Like, yeah, look at me, Mom, succulent. And then at when he passed, his friends came up to me and was like at the repast and was like, Keith was a whole vibe. He was a vibe. He made everybody laugh, everything. So one day I was sitting there and I was like, I just want to start something to keep his spirit alive, because he always used to do that. Like, what can I do? And I was like, damn, maybe I'll start a photo booth business, bring people together that love to take photos, do all this stuff. So I wrote it on the board, Succulent Vibes, and it stuck. And that's where that name came from. Okay. From him, to keep his spirit alive. Right. And then my piece too is my podcast, Pillow Talkz Podcast, because that's my platform to get what I need to get off my chest. It's like my therapy. Okay. I can just plug it in and put the earphones on, and then I can talk. Somebody's listening.
Somebody gonna listen.
And somebody's listening, right. And somebody been through the same thing, right? Or something that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And say, you know what? what you said on there, man, that's what I was going through. I just didn't know how to say it.
Mm.
So this has been my piece of like my business and the things that I'm putting together. And now I have so much stuff that I want to do in my son's name. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Griffin's Place.
Okay.
You know how we grew up in the Delma High Center?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody needs a community center, you
Have,
know.
have you thought about doing a foundation?
Yes.
Okay.
I have thought about that, and I'm trying to, again, you know, like I think about so much, but I just need the resources to find out how I can do it. You know, I would like to do, um, I would like to have like a scholarships, you know what I mean, in his name, you know, in Keith's
Right.
name and all that stuff. Things that could be like for uh, people that need things like blankets and socks, you know, Keith's Corner. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, you know, things like that. And, you know, just the foundation, you know, to
Okay.
do things like that.
I'm sure you'll make it work. I'm
Oh,
sure you'll
yeah.
make it work.
I'm big on my vision board.
Okay.
I'm big on vision boards. Trust me. And trust me, it works for me. I check off things
Mm-hmm.
that I did like 4 years ago, and I come back and say, "Oh, look at this vision board," and I'm looking like, "Damn, I really did all this already. Didn't think about it.
Right.
Just put it on there because this
You
is what
believe
I
in
want."
manifestation?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
I love
Oh, I believe. Yes, I
1000%.
manifest. Yes. You know
But
what?
you do the work.
Yes. I look at where I'm doing right now. I
Right.
came up on this. I
Right.
manifest. Like I need to get. I'm see it. I can get with somebody that know how to help me. That I can
Right.
do this. And look where I'm at now. We
Right.
were just
Absolutely.
talking. Look at this gentleman over there. We, you know what I mean? Like I manifest this shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to look back and be like, things that we think about and we say we want to do.
Yeah.
And like you say, I look back and like, wow, I accomplished all of that.
Yeah.
Now it's to dream bigger.
Yeah. That's
you know
it.
what I mean?
That's
So
it.
absolutely.
That's
So
it.
my condolences to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.